Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. One of our goals in Judaism, although maybe in any religion, is try to make any moment sacred. Try to make anywhere we go feel holy. I don't even know if we can define what sacred or holy or sanctified really mean. They're kind of ethereal words about trying to bring something down here, something beyond us into this moment. One of our teens sent me a message this week on Instagram, and I'm very cool, so I use Instagram. And I saw this message, and she said, once we say Kiddush over a cup of grape juice or wine, is that grape juice or wine now holy? And I said, no. It's not. It's not like now this cup of wine is sanctified and holy wine. This moment becomes sacred. So that every time you have a cup of wine, whatever that is, 30 times a week, I don't know. Every time you have a cup of wine, to make this moment feel different. Every time you have bread, you can say motzi and make this moment feel different. It doesn't make the bread special. It's special because it's braided and it's pretty and it's got chocolate chips in it. That's what makes it special. But we don't make it sacred by saying the blessing. We make this moment holy by saying that blessing. And so what we're trying to do here for the next hour-ish is to make something holy in there. Something holy in this room. This room in itself is beautiful, but it's not holy. It's what we bring here that make it something unique. And Mariano and Chazan Noam are going to do what they can to bring sanctity through their music. And later on, I'll give an hour-long sermon, and that'll make you feel a little more holy, I'm sure. But all these little things that we do are just us trying to get us collectively to feel something. We so often go through our lives, and every day is just another day, another group of emails and meetings and whatever else. And how often do we get a chance to take an hour outside of that and try to make the moment feel special? There's nothing specifically holy about here, but it's what you bring. We're going to sing some songs. Some of the melodies you'll know, some of the words you'll be familiar with, and you can sing with us. And some of them you won't know, and you get to decide, am I going to try to learn it and sing along, or am I going to just listen to it and try to have these melodies reside inside of me? And maybe next week or next month or 5 years from now, I'll hear this melody again, and I'll feel this hearkening back and something sacred in this moment. So please join us tonight and try to bring a little bit of holiness into this Friday evening. We're on the bottom of page 5. Bottom of page 5 with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malchuni leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzechem leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We turn forward to some of the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat to try to get us into this mindset of leaving the outside world outside and being precious in here. Page 11, Lechu Neranena.
Lechu neranena l'Adonai nariya l'tzur yishenu nekad mafanav betoda bizmirot nariyalo.
We'll conclude that psalm on page 12 at the red arrow, 40 years, Arba'im Shana.
Arba'im shana akut bedor va'omar am toev levavhem vehem lo yadu drachai asher nishbati be'api im yevon el menuchati. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai baruchu shemo, basru miyom yeshuato, sapru v'goyim kevodo v'chol ha'amim niflotav ki gadol Adonai. The bottom of page 14. Lifnei Adonai kiva lishbot haaretz yishbot hevel v'tzedek me'amim be'emunato.
Page 20 at the red arrow, Romemu.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu le'ar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu le'ar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Oh, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu le'ar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu le'ar kodsho.
All of these melodies have writers. Some of them are recent, and some of them feel like they've been part of our repertoire forever, that there's a chance that Moses sang these at Mount Sinai. There's a chance that Abraham and Sarah, when they had Shabbat dinner with all of their friends, I don't know, that they sang these same melodies. And some of them, you start looking into it, you realize that these were written in the East Village in the 60s. We're on page, I know, which feels to me like forever ago, you know? We're on page 21, and this melody, Mizmor LeDavid, of this psalm was written by Shlomo Carlebach, who realized that one way to spread Judaism, to spread this idea of beauty and love and compassion into the world, is through song. And so he followed in the footsteps of Bob Dylan and some other musicians of the time. And there's great videos online of him like sitting on a stool in the same room where Barbra Streisand and Bob Dylan and whoever else are singing on a normal night. He comes in and he's a troubadour. And he, instead of writing his own lyrics, he takes the words that were written by King David 3,000 years ago, and here's one of his melodies on page 21.
Mizmor LeDavid, Avul Adonai Bnei Elim, Avul Adonai Kavod Vaos, Avul Adonai Kevod Shemo, Ishtachavu L'Adonai Ve'adrat Kodesh, Gol Adonai al Hamayim El HaKavod Yirim, Adonai al Mayim Rabim, Gol Adonai Adonai me'adai, kol Adonai shover arazim vayishaver Adonai et arzei Alvanon vayarkidem gemo eger Levanon v'Sirion Adonai mi bakadesh, kol Adonai yechol elayalok, vayechesov ye'arot uveichalo kulo merkavod Adonai Vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai ozei amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Yananai, yai, nai, 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 nai,
We invite up our bar mitzvah, who tomorrow afternoon on this bima will become an adult in our community, according to our religion. Page 23, he will lead us in Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likra kala pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala pene Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad hishmianu meyuhad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'tifer ve'litila likrat Shabbat leuven ברחמי ראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבתי לה לך דודי לקרא קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקרא קלה בני שבת נקבלה מקדש מלכי מלוכה קומיתי מתוך אף וחרב לך שבת ומחבך וכו יחמו עלייך חמלה התנערי מעפר קומי לבשי בגדי תיארתך מעל ירדן ישי בתעלמי קרבה אל נפשי גאלה לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לא תבושי ולא תקומי תשתוכחי ומתהם מבך יהסו אני יעמי ונבנתה יראתי לה לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה ויולים שיסה שוסייך ורחקו כל מעלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהייך כמסוס השטן הקלה ימין ושמאל תפרותי ואת אדוני תריתי על יד איש בפרתי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה
If you're able, we rise, we face the door that we came in through.
פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה.
A few of you shared with me that this week was a hard week for you, that you lost somebody you loved this week. And to you we say, Hamakom inachem etchem betoch sha'ar avelei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the divine comfort you along with all the others who are mourning for Zion and Jerusalem. You may be seated. But just to note, Hamakom inachem means not only may the divine comfort you, but also may this place be a comfort to you. And we turned towards the door at that moment as if to say, everybody should feel welcome to come here. Better if they're coming in with a hop in their step because they had great news this week. A new family member joined their family, or if it was a hard week and they lost somebody they loved. Either way, you should feel comfortable and welcome when you come in here. And maybe afterwards, after in services in Spiegel Hall, we'll share some news with each other, good or bad, as we eat some babka. And if there's any black and white cookies, then maybe we could share those as well. Page 28, at the red arrow, Tzaddik Katamar, a prayer, a song that there's justice that continues to grow in this world that desperately needs tzaddik, that needs tzedakah and love.
tamar yifrach gerez balvanon yiskeh shetulim bevet Adonai v'chatzron Eloheinu yafrihu od yenovun meseva deshenim rananim lehagid ki hashar Adonai tzuri velo avlatabo.
If you're able, we'll rise. With those words, we concluded Kabbalat Shabbat. And before we go into the Mariv service, we're going to light the candles up here for Shabbat. We invite Grandma Sheila to help us light the candles. Anybody else who wants to join her up here, family of Liam, not family of Liam, come up, but we invite the matriarch to come and preside over this moment where we try again to bring sanctity into this world. Turn to the people around you and say, Shabbat Shalom. Remain standing if you can as we go into Baruch Hu. We invite Uncle Brian Keary to join us on the bima. Aunt Julie, you're going to stay here and open up the ark. Wave to somebody across the room and say, oh, nice to see you. I didn't even see you there. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, you must be new. We'll invite Brian and Julie, aunt and uncle of the Bar Mitzvah, to open up the Aron HaKodesh, to open up the Ark, as Liam, you're leading us in Baruch Hu. We're on page 39 in our Siddur, 39a.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated.
Uma'avir yom umevi laila. Umavdil ben yom uvein laila. Adonai tzivaot shemo. El hai v'kayam tasidim lo chaleinu. leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Shemo.
Hama'ariv Aravim.
Amen. We're on page 40, Ahavat Olam.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיע בחוקך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם רעינו באורך ימינו באורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה.
ואהבך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושינתן לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך והיו לטפטפות בין עיניך וקשרתם על מזוזותיך ובשעריך. Adonai Elohechem emet.
We'll continue in a moment in the middle of page 44.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא דהילות אוספל נורא דהילות אוספל יראה מלכותך ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה זה אלינו ואמרו Adonai imloch leolam vaed Anai nai anai adonai dai 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 Anai dai dai adonai dai 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 Ai dai 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 adonai dai 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 adonai dai dai ונאמר כי ודע אדוני את יעקב וגואלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Before we say the prayer on page 45, I'd like to invite Liam's uncle Dan Kersner to read the translation of this prayer. It's a beautiful prayer that we say on every night, a version of this prayer every night.
Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us up to life. Our sovereign, spread over us, your canopy of peace. Restore us. Visit your good counsel and save us from the sake of your name. Shield us. Remove us from us enemies, pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. And you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people of Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha v'taknenu v'tza tova milfanecha. Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai haporeh sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol hamo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Amen. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai haporeh sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol hamo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim, ve'al Yerushalayim, ve'al Yerushalayim. Amen.
Amen. Those who are able, once again, we rise. Page 46. We sing the words of Vishamru.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. Veshamru השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובידיכו בישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ועלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויעלה ויהלל, שמי דקודשא בריחו, ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונעמתה דמירן בעלמא, ואמרו אמן.
Page 47 begins the evening Amidah. This is a moment of quiet personal prayer. Take a moment and reflect, Hebrew or English or just the thoughts of your heart. When you're finished, you may again be seated.
Oseh Shalom Bimruma Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Oseh Shalom Bimruma Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimruma Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Ve'imru Amen. Ve'imru
On the inside back cover of the Siddur are the lyrics to Misha Berach, a prayer of healing. This version's written by Debbie Friedman and Drora Settle. We'll sing half of it, and we'll read names who are on our list, people in our community who we're thinking of and praying for their healing. If you have names to add, let us know, and after Shabbat, we'll add them to our list, and we'll check in with them as is right. So we'll sing now the words together, Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Le'imoteinu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
Tammy Kessler-Wakeman, Stephen Ross, Michelle Bacon, Menucha bat Necha, Shlomo ben Rivka, Rivka bat Sarah, Greg Watson, Yonatan Reuven ben Rivka, Lazer ben Chava, Harav Chaim Yaakov ben Pesha, Chava Fredel bat Meira Noga, Naftali ben Devora, Meira Yaakov bat Gitta Braina, Yehudit bat Sarah, Moshe ben Yehudit, David Gould, Asa Luo, Al Sanderson, Shirley Rutkovitz, John Ogle, Ron Kadish, Diana Baffa Brill, Miriam Garfield, Richard Korn, Carl Weiss, Barry Perkin, Katrinka Schiffman, Laura Ziff, Karen bat Maya Root, Arav Masha Racha bat Godalea, Victor Goldstein, Maya Root bat Esther, Moshe ben Chana, Yochanan ben Chana, Shlomo Lev ben Pesi, Rachel bat Fega, Mike Reiter, David ben Devora Root, Yaakov ben Sarah, Betty Herman, Mari bat Sarah, Avraham Yaakov ben Miriam, Yosef ben Braina, Racha Tzivia bat Ranana, Chana Leah bat Alice, Reuven Michael ben Shirley, Shani bat Rachel, Pesa bat Bracha, Gary Winnick, Reuven ben Hyman, Miriam Shalva bat Sarah, Avram Moshe ben Bluma Shena.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah.
Kaddish Shalem is on page 54.
Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah. Amen. Behelma divrak yeruteh ve'amlich malchuteh. V'chayachon v'yamachon v'chayachol bet Yisrael. Bagalav v'zman karim ve'imeru. Amen. Yesh shmei Rabbah mevorach.
Olam Me'omaya Yipara Yipara V'yishtabach V'yipa'ar V'yirama V'yitnaseh V'yihadar V'yaleh V'yihala Shemei Kudasha Brichu Leila Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushvahata V'ne'amata Dami Ran Be'alma V'imru Atme Titkabat Slochon Uvachon Decho Yisrael Kadam Avachon Divishmaya V'imru Atme Yeheshlam Rabba Mishamaya V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen.
He's doing great. Tomorrow morning at 9:30, we have services here for those who want to join us. And tomorrow afternoon at 4, does that work for you? 4 o'clock, we'll come back together. Is that okay with you guys? All right, 4 o'clock, Liam's bar mitzvah. We'll get to hear him teach and sing and read Torah and lead our service as now an adult, which is a wonderful thing. Sunday morning, we have Minyan, but it's not here. It's at a super secret location, part of our Summer of the Wandering Jew. And so you're welcome. If you want to join us on Sunday morning, not via Zoom, let me know, and I'll tell you the address. I'll help you get there. It's not so far from here. And so you can join us for Minyan for then. And if you have questions on anything coming up, high holidays, we have, the whole world has coming up. Slichot starting September 28th, then Rosh Hashanah the following week. And on Sunday, October 6th, we'll be commemorating the atrocities of almost a year ago. We'll be, God willing, at the beach, if the weather permits, and so we'll have Tashlich, this beautiful community ceremony, and a moment of remembrance for the tragedy that's happened over the last year. Welcome to join us for all of those, for some of those. If you have questions, there's some people here who might be wearing name. I think Sherry's the only one with a name tag right now. Is that right? Ask Sherry at Kiddush, and she'll let you know all the details. I don't know, but you can ask. There's some of us who are aware. 25 years ago, I was lucky enough to go on a program to Israel over the whole summer. I went actually with Joyce and Leo's, their older daughter, and some other people in our community. There were 132 teenagers from Los Angeles. I went together for about 8 weeks to Israel. And it was a life-changing experience. It was just so wonderful to be there and get to walk in the footsteps of history. And I remember at one point, they took one of the kids, his name was Adam, he now lives in Fresno. They took Adam and they had him stand in a certain way so that his body became a map of Israel. So for those of us, this is before the internet was the internet, for those of us who didn't know the geography of Israel, we can now, and I have a picture in my scrapbook of here's Adam and showing each part of what's going on. For example, Tel Aviv was over here, and you know it's over here because Tel Aviv is hip. And so that was one of the examples, and it's one that 25 years later, I still remember some of the geography of Israel. Then we actually got to spend over 8 weeks traveling from Jerusalem to Tel Aviv to Haifa and Tzfat down to Eilat. We covered the whole country as much as you could cover in 8 weeks. And it was incredible, and we ate and we danced and we sang, and it was wonderful. And I teach this class on Friday mornings. The women in the room are welcome to join me. For whatever reason, it's developed as a women's-only class on Friday mornings for an hour or an hour and a half. We meet in Spiegel Hall, and we read the Torah very slowly. Last week, 1 line. This week, I think we got through 3, which was amazing that we got through 3 lines of Torah. And what I noticed, a few weeks ago, we were studying this part where God says to Avram and Sarai, to Abraham and Sarah, go to Israel, and they walk. And when they get there, our commentators, these are deep Jewish thinkers from 500 or 900 or 2,000 years ago, who are now writing in like the margins of their books the geography of Israel, as if Adam is standing there in a certain way to show them which way it is. And it was the first time I read these words and realized Jews 900 years ago, Rambam and Rashi and Ibn Ezra, the greatest Jewish minds maybe ever, didn't know Israel. They never in their lifetimes, for most of them, went to Israel. The average Jew living somewhere in the world had no idea the climate, the geography, where there were hills and valleys, how far Jerusalem is from a river or the Mediterranean or Tzfat or Haifa or any of these other ancient cities. We take it for granted now, at least I do. I take it for granted that we know the geography, that we know the weather, that so many of us have been there and spent important moments there. I take it for granted every day that Israel exists. There was a questionnaire a number of years ago, about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, asking of Jews my age if their life would be different if Israel didn't exist. And the answer among most of them was, no, wouldn't be different. And I don't think it's because they're calloused. I think it's because people our age can't imagine a world where it didn't exist. And I'm fully aware that people a generation or two above me knew a world where Israel either didn't exist or was so historically so precarious that every day was a big question mark, which is maybe sometimes where we feel today. In my mind, Israel has always existed, but not so for Rashi or Rambam or even Rabbi Akiva of the Mishnah, the rabbis of the Talmud and Midrash, the greatest rabbis of antiquity. The idea of Israel was merely a dream, an impossibility until Mashiach, until the Messiah showed up. And while we're here waiting for the Messiah, we were granted an interim. We were granted Theodor Herzl, a person with a vision, a person who said, Im tirtzu ein zo agada, if you make it happen, it's no longer just a dream. If you actually put it to work, it's no longer just a vision in your imagination. Today is the 127th anniversary of the first Zionist Congress, the first international meeting in Basel, Switzerland, of all places, of people really discussing what it would mean to have a land that was for Jews, a place where the streets would be empty of all cars and buses on Yom Kippur, where the buses on Friday nights and before a holiday say Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach across the top of them, where some ideals of Judaism are part of the structure of society, where it is as imperfect as any other country, and how grateful I am. I wish Israel were more perfect, and I wish America were more perfect, and I wish Bolivia and Japan were more perfect. But I'm grateful that there's a country that exists where politicians are unlikable, where the economy has good years and bad years, and where there are criminals and there are righteous people, but it's a country. It's a place that we can call home. Zionism has taken on a host of other meanings these last 127 years. And some we stand behind and some we don't. Some have been given to us by outsiders who are out to spurn us in hatred. And some we have earned by decisions made by leadership and by residents, people who live there. 4,000 years ago, God led Avram and Sarai before their names were changed to Abraham and Sarah. God led them to a land and said, this is the land that I promise your offspring. No reason as to why that strip of land was promised to them. That oil-forsaken strip of desert with no natural water. There's a great story that Rabbi Ed Feinstein of Valley Beth Shalom went to Hawaii, and he's with his wife, and at sunrise they climb a volcano. And they get to the top, and they're watching the sunrise over the Pacific Ocean that surrounds them. And Rabbi Feinstein goes, God, you knew about this? You knew about this? You gave us the only strip of land in the middle of the enemies that has no oil and natural water? You knew about this the whole time? And yet, that's our home. We would love to call Hawaii our home too, and some of us get to. But then generations later, we wander in the wilderness for 40 years, trekking back to this promised land that was promised to our ancestors before, where we fight for our very existence. Every year for 3,300 years, we have fought for that little strip of land, and sometimes winning, and sometimes losing. And this week, the Torah portion that we'll read tomorrow morning reminds us that this land is sacred, that there's something inherently holy about the land, which doesn't mean a whole lot aside from how we are supposed to act there. That when we go there, we act holy. We should feel holy, and we should bring holiness into what we do there. There are certain things, certain laws, certain mitzvot that are permitted only there, and not in Thousand Oaks, and not in Encino, and not in Brooklyn, and not in Poland, and not anywhere else we've lived over the years. That the land there is somehow vulnerable, is somehow susceptible to what we do. I'm honored that I get to visit Israel and picture the land of Israel, that I have hiked from sea to sea, that I have lived there, that I have paid taxes in Jerusalem and fought with the local government over that. While Moses and Aaron and Miriam and Queen Esther never went there and never lived there, never got to dwell there, and never got to see what it was like to hike up Masada at sunrise, to get to walk from the Mediterranean to the Jordan, to get to have falafel on Ben Yehuda Street. These are impossibilities for them, and we, in this time, we are able to. I also love that as a synagogue, this synagogue, it's a representation of Israel. That wherever you go, you can set up a mikdash me'at, a little sanctuary. Whether it's this one with beautiful ceilings and beautiful pews and things that break, I don't know. Whether it's like this or it's your home. Wherever you are, you can make a place that feels sacred. Because what happened 2,000 years ago when the temple was destroyed is we got to set up Judaism wherever we wanted. So we hold a special place, many of us hold a special place in our hearts for Israel, whatever that looks like, and whether we agree with certain decisions or not. We also get to know that here in Thousand Oaks, we can have a place where we find sanctity and humility and humanity, and sometimes one falafel and other things to celebrate and feel like we are close to Israel. I hope that you feel at home here. I hope that what we do here on Shabbat and on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and on any given Tuesday also feels sacred to you. And that you, whether this is your first time here or you are here every day for the last 60 years, that you continue to feel like this is a place with a little bit of holiness and a place that you can call home. Shabbat Shalom. We are going to continue now with Kiddush to sanctify this moment, not because the grape juice becomes holy, but because we are trying to make this moment holy. If you are able, you are welcome to rise, and we will invite up now to help lead us in Kiddush, Cousin Robert Kersner. I've got a special Kiddush cup for you.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, borei peri gofen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shavat kodsho v'yava uvratzon inchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh Bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mi'ol ha'amim ve'shava ha'kodeshecha be'ahava uvratzon inchalta ata Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
We'll invite Uncle Matt and Aunt Carrie and anybody else who they want to bring up with them to open the ark. We're on page 56, the words of Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומשה יקרוב בשמיים עמה, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבתה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים השמיים עמך, ועל הארץ מתחת עינו. כתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ויום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. This week, as we transition from the month of Av to the month of Elul, we note the yahrzeits in our community of Dorothy Elkin, Sharon Hummel, Chaim Kaplan, Sharon Kluber, Willem Corving, Riva Schwartz, Samuel Billick, Alan Cohen, Blanche Ray, Murray Ryder, Michael Tobin, Lucille Volk, Ruth Bledstein, Max Schwartz, Bernice Banker, Joseph Gerson, Irving Katz, Harry Kurtz, Harvey Shear, Benjamin Weisberg, Janice Wolf, Louis Komisaroff, Miriam Hockman, Harry Honigsberg, Samuel Seinfeld, Robert Smith, Marjorie Weinberg, Jean Cohen, Jacob Feldman, Rita Garfinkel, Sandra Miller, Hardy Warren, Rebecca Zills, Tilly Dankberg, Irving Dersch, Esther Feldman, Harold Holland, Maria Siegel, Melvin Simon, Sidney Slutsky, Nathan Weinstein, Max Walenchik, Moshe Cohen, Bertha Dukovsky, Florence Goldfinger, Earl Granitz, Philip Miller, Perry Rabinowitz, Alexander Warner, and we're still in Shloshim, this first month of mourning for Israel Rosen. Other names to add tonight, we're thinking of Pauline White. May all their memories be beautiful ones. Is there anyone who has a yahrzeit and wants to share a brief memory, not a full biography, but just a brief memory of who they're here to remember? Rachel. Thank you. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, John. Okay. Maybe we'll hear more during the week, either tomorrow morning or Sunday or Monday. Page 58, the words of Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. If you are in a period of mourning, if you're observing a yahrzeit, you're welcome to rise and join us in these sacred words. Yitkadal, v'yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divara kirute, ve'amlich malchute, ve'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye decho beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru,
Amen.
Amen, Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ul'almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekudasha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, hu ya'asei shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. Osei shalom b'imromav. May the one who makes peace in heaven bring us and all of the people of Israel a sense of peace. Thank you to Mariano, Chazan Noam, Liam, and Rivka for helping make sure services are spiritual and sacred. Thank you to all of you for being here. Please, after services, join us in Spiegel Hall and introduce yourself to each other. Whether you're part of the family or part of the family, you're welcome. Please get to know each other a little bit. Make sure you learn somebody's name, somebody new's name before you leave. Any other big announcements that I'm forgetting? Great, super. I made announcements earlier, so I think we're okay. Looking forward to celebrating more with you in the days to come. Page 211, page 211, we'll sing the words of Adon Olam.
Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Gol Yitzir Nivra V'yed Nasar V'chafso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'acharei Yichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Over V'hu Yeh V'tifara V'hu Echad V'en Sheni Le'am Shilo Le'achbira V'lirei ביום קרא בידו הפקיד רוחי ואת אישן והעירה ועם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא יירא.
For Motzi, I want to invite up all the kids who aren't yet bat or bar mitzvah. Ayla, Shayna, Leah, Talia, Ramona, Callie. Cousins who I don't know yet, but we're going to become best friends tomorrow. What are your names? Sawyer and Quincy. All right, you guys do the same melody where you're from? Motzi.
Shabbat shalom.